Hi,
Good morning.
my name is Kimberly Graves, and I just wanted to say I'm really pleased to be here at this time because what I stand for is similar to what has been brought about today. I am the executive director of a program called Raising Youth to Strive for Excellence. It's a 501c3 that I created in 1993 as a result of the massive violence and murders that were happening in the city I was raised in, which is Richmond. And as a result of that, there was a lot of post-traumatic stress going on with people. There wasn't enough counseling being provided. And so in order to assist with the trauma that many had experienced, I created this nonprofit. I am coming forward with a program, a short-term residential treatment program in the city of Richmond. I'm getting that proposal presented now. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to come before you and make you aware of the joy that I have with bringing this program forward. And lastly, I just wanted to say I saw on the news on Channel 4 that from 2007 to 2015, it has been a study showing that many young children are being brought into hospitals because of suicidal threats, and that there went from 500,000 youth that were suicidal to over 1 million in that time period. So it is very critical that we do all we can to help the youth who are experiencing a lot of post-traumatic stress for many reasons, not just violence and being victims of crime, but also the social media and things like that that are affecting them. So thank you again for the opportunity, and look for RISE to be on the rise soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And as someone who grew up in Richmond, lives in Richmond, and represents it, I'll have my office reach out to you to meet with you to hear more about the program.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Barry White, followed by Mitchell Smith, followed by Peter Duran. Barry White, you can please be ready because we have lots of speakers. Barry White, okay. Michael Smith and Peter Duran.
How you doing, Board of Supervisors? I was supposed to write my speech, but I didn't get to, so I'm gonna have to ad-lib some.
No
but
problem, just
much.
identify yourself, that'd be great.
Right. My name is Barry White, and to the Board of Supervisors, on behalf of the California Family Advocacy Group, in an effort to protest over children from exploitation and parental alienation, and the increasing number of children being separated from loving families and thrown into foster care systems for profit through judges and attorneys that's not in the best interest of children.
And let me ask this, because if at the end, we're trying, if the more clapping, the longer this all takes, so sometimes we do this or like that. In Richmond, that's what we do at least.
But for profit and for building a quota to get Title IV funding, so that it was incumbent of the citizens of this country to take action, as so there was a campaign to recall certain judges in this county. But this recall effort was thwarted because it was said that petitioners was not from this county, so they couldn't do the recall efforts. So we're just calling this express that this be refuted and that the petitions go through, because the petitions was there and we put in the effort to recall the judges. So basically, I was just saying that the petitions go through. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Smith, followed by Peter Duran.
I'm first going to do an intro, state my status for the record, then state my name. Now then, for the first thing I want to establish is the word knowledge. Do you have the knowledge to understand what I'm saying to you? Because my son and daughter and I have been publicly pushed to near death on several occasions because of family court and certain individuals. It has elevated me to a reading and writing level of 29. I am here on special appearance in propria persona, sui juris. For the record, concerning my status, I am in my sovereign capacity Do not be misled. You can only practice law in your sovereign capacity. The bar is a private, nonprofit corporation that issues registration numbers to its members who do not have a license to practice law in any state, because in order to have a license to practice law, you must be in your sovereign capacity. Chairman, supervisors, members of the staff, as well as the public, it is an honor to serve above you on this glorious day. My name is Federal Postal Judge Mitchell, Smith, period. In the now time, which is the age of Aquarius.
Thank you.
Anno Domini. I am in possession. This is a federal flag. This is postal money. I'm in possession of a federal oath of office written in the correct parse syntax grammar. And I have the first-hand federal judge knowledge to back it up.
Thanks for your time. We try to limit everyone to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Peter Duran, followed by Andrea Wood. Peter?
Hello, my name is Peter Duran. I served 3 years in the United States Army and fought in 2 wars of Vietnam in honor of the Constitution, the rights of the people. I'm shocked and disappointed that Judge Rebecca Hardy bypasses kinship and the children to the perpetrator or to the foster homes. The judges are government funded for this. You, the Board of Supervisors, is the governing body that oversees the operations of this county. It has legislative and executive quasi-judicial power that jurisdiction and to implement and refine local application of the state laws. I ask you to eliminate doing due diligence and taking all of our words into account and consider my ratifying of this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Wood, followed by, is it Shelley Greiderman?
I'm Andrea Wood. I'm a citizen of Orinda, Contra Costa County. I'm chairman of California Family Advocacy. I was here last month discussing the illegal petitions and the elections fraud of Contra Costa County. I remember John Joya had suggested that I get in touch with the Board of Elections on that matter, which we did. We made numerous attempts for them to have an opportunity to explain the illegal activities and why they were giving us this clearly illegal petition. They refused to meet with us. They refused to return our emails. Several of us contacted them. So they're actually avoiding and not interested in discussing what they did. We also had asked if they would have a conversation with us with a local newspaper. They refused to do that as well. They have no comment on what they did. They put forth a petition with illegal language on it, requiring that all petition gatherers must be in Contra Costa County. This is clearly illegal. There have been a dozen lawsuits setting precedents that they're not allowed to do this. They did that anyhow, clearly violating the laws and refusing to meet with us as well. Also, in the Martinez Gazette, there was an article in February of this year mentioning that the Board of Elections was, I guess, successfully sued on a similar matter just very recently. So this seems to be an ongoing pattern and problem with the Board of Elections. And we're very concerned about it. I also want to talk about the other matter that we met with and talked about last month was the lost children that are taken by Contra Costa County. I want to take attention to call the Board of Supervisors to we're asking you to do an investigation on where these children are. We would like to have published the names of the missing children that are seized by Contra Costa County. We would like to know who these children are that are missing, and we would like an investigation on where they are. We would like this to be published so that people are aware that there's missing county children that have been taken by Contra Costa County, and we want to know what happened to those children.
Thank you.
We'll be back every month to see you until we get an answer.
Thank you. Shelley Kreiderman, followed by, is it Linda Corey?
Actually, it's Lisa Schindler.
I'm
first,
sorry.
And then Shelley Kreiderman.
Shelley Kreiderman? Okay.
My name is Lisa Schindler. I've been a resident of Contra Costa County most of my life and worked as a registered nurse for almost 16 years in the neonatal ICU. I give babies their first breath of life, literally. I'm here to address the board with an ongoing issue with our child welfare and family court system that is greatly affecting many families here in Contra Costa County. After both personal experience and speaking with hundreds of families through grassroots advocacy groups and direct interviews with families outside the Walnut Creek Courthouse, it appears nearly all are victims of a corrupt court system designed not to do what is in the best interest for children, but rather what will generate the most money for the county. This means separating families and alienating parents from their children. Children are taken into state custody, which is sometimes necessary. The problem is our current court system routinely denies kinship placement of children with relatives. Rather, the system's goal is to alienate children from parents and extended family in order to break the bond so that Contra Costa can profit by either keeping the child in the system longer or assuring a fast adoption of the child, which provides bonuses and federal incentives to the courts. Special needs children are often targets. The county fails to provide special services to these children and are often unable to set up any services in a timely manner, which can cause medical care to be withheld for sometimes up to 6 months. There is often no intended reunification for most children, even under false pretenses. Several psychologists who work in our county's school system with special needs children in Contra Costa have written affidavits to the Inspector General pleading for help, as they claim it's no coincidence that 3 little girls were all taken.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Was it Linda Corey? No, that last one was Shelley. Was Leisha?
Actually, I was going to speak on her behalf.
What's your
and she
what's your
spoke
what's
for
your name?
herself. I am Shelley Kreiderman.
Got it. And the last speaker was, I'm sorry, your last speaker, your name? I have a Linda Corey. I didn't have a, okay, let me pull out the Lisa Schindler card. I didn't see, okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shelley Kreiderman, and I'm kind of doing impromptu. I've been petitioning outside of the courthouse for about 6 months, so I hear a lot of stories, and I feel there's a big need for support for families. These children that are caught up in the court system, they are connected to their families in some way, and to just leave the families totally bereft of financial and emotional assistance seems like a cruel way that comes back to the children. And indirectly, but it does. So that's what I've gained from my experience. I did write an email a number of months ago, so I'll just read the summary paragraph of my email really shortly. We are asking for more accountability and transparency in the court. We are asking that the marginalized are not their primary resource of profit. Overwhelmingly, we see this consists of single mothers, Blacks and Latino families, special ed kids, and adults with disabilities. Family court is bankrupting these groups emotionally and financially. Clearly, the current system is not working. For that purpose, we ask to recall judges that are abusing the family court. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Corey, followed by, is it Mengbe Hu?
Hello, my name is Linda Corey. Today I would like to talk to you about Contra Costa County's broken children and family court system and the despicable crimes being perpetrated on a daily basis by them and their associated entities. But specifically, I like to talk about the damages and unmanageable suffering caused to my family via grandparents' alienation syndrome, also known as GAS. When parents lose their children to the courts, they are not the only ones that lose them. Every person in the child's family tree is punished by those obscenely severe actions of the court, who completely sever ties to the whole biological family. According to the courts, I am no longer a grandparent through no actions of my own doings or my daughter's. Actions of my own doings. I do not get to see my grandchildren, and it's been over 3 years since this has happened. I do not get to kiss them, hug them, tell them I love them, and watch them grow. Grandparent alienation is a vile and cruel punishment for both the grandparents and the children. It is theft, torture. There is an unmanageable amount of love that these children can be receiving that is essentially being stolen from them. Valuable history, Portuguese culture, and sense of region is being selfishly erased. All of this is happening under the guise of the best interest of the children. Grandparents who are subjected to gas suffer from a gamut of emotional, mental, and sometimes physical tortures. Judge Rebecca Hardy bypassed my kinship rights, took the children away from a wonderful mother, and gave the children sole custody to a felon, an abuser parent. Who is a felon? Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Is it Mengbei Hu, followed by Diane Hunter or Munter? Sorry about that. Hunter. Sorry. I'm not good at reading handwriting, so Hunter. Got it. I have it. Mengbei Hu.
Yes, my name is Menki Hu, and good morning, everyone. I come here for my son. My son got killed in the 2013 in her school in the East Contra Costa, the Byron Excelsior Middle School. And that is a criminal case. But the government body, the police, even the court, and help to cover this criminal. And right now it's 6 years now. And I still cannot help find the way to get justice to my son. So I just come here, want to get a chance, maybe get some help. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Diane Hunter, followed by Strawberry.
Hi, I'm Diane Hunter. I'm a nurse care manager at Choosing Change, but I'm here for California Family Advocacy. And I'm here off duty to talk about domestic violence, the failed justice system, and family law. I've been a nurse at Health Services for almost 9 years, and I have 20 plus years in adult and child nursing. I have taught nursing students at Las Medanas College prior to my position at Choosing Change. I'm here to invite you in a joint conversation with our community about domestic violence, child abuse, and the disease of addiction. I'm taking on this task because I believe our patients at Choosing Change deserve justice, dignity, and respect, as well as all of you here. I want to start this conversation because I believe we all need immediate awareness about the custody crisis in Contra Costa County next door. We're Choosing Change on the front lines of the Contra Costa County opioid epidemic, and I frequently work with domestic violence survivors and real people who have the disease of addiction. I work with victims of domestic violence and victims of disease of addiction. These two issues go hand in hand. Let's talk about domestic violence. It's a pattern of coercive control, and it's seen in 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men. Abuse could be physical, emotional, verbal, sexual, financial, and legal. It's not a disease or a mental illness of any kind. Substance abuse is a disease where a traumatized person or a person with a co-occurring mental illness may use methods of self-harm. We'll help our patients at Choosing Change by teaching them about their addiction. and as doctors, nurses, and mental health professionals. We see our patients and our families struggle with the court system next door and in the one in Walnut Creek that's closed off to the public. What's the secret here, ladies and gentlemen? Why is a public place such as the Walnut Creek Courthouse closed to the public? So why? I want to ask. It's a huge benefit, protected also by the U.S. Constitution, to have a grand jury in our family dependency courts. We get enough volunteers for this. We have California Family Advocacy, and we want a grand jury, and we want cameras in the courtroom that you guys have funding for.
Thank you.
We want transparency.
Strawberry? That's the last on this item. I have more speaker cards, but this appears to be the last one on the court issue.
I'm nervous.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. Bill Bullard stated in part, opinion is really the lowest form of human knowledge. It requires no accountability, no understanding. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another's world. I'm here to discuss something of interest and possibly a start in the right direction, with a public willing to work with your industry to procure a more humanistic, balanced, and beneficial process for all parties involved in the court system. A change needs to begin that will positively benefit our future, and you have the ability to change a failed system one step at a time. I suggest while we are forced to play the legal gamut, we need to change a few things. Prior to entering the family court system, there should be a disclaimer discussing in normal understandings to all individuals in plain English that a risk to your health, loss of employment, loss of your material collections, furniture, vehicle, driver's license, loss to your ability to live a basic existence, bankruptcy, and a loss of your family connections can and has happened when entering into the system of courts. Family and court should never mix. As the propensity of oil and water molecules tend to separate, so should the process of family matters within public view. Instead, I suggest an emulsion or colloid by adding those that you serve into the mix, making it more stable, and it might generate a positive outcome that would be agreeable to everyone joined. But it would take producing a separate department, merging in other aspects of the process, and simplifying the significant damage down to minimal. Make the initial process to divorce child custody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Carlita Perry?
Hello, I'm Carlita Perry. I'm coming here with the California Family Advocacy to discuss the issue of the corrupt judges in Contra Costa County. Judge Hardy and Arcelia Ramirez, my former attorney, colluded together to force me into an allocution, which is illegal and only done in criminal court. When I would voice that I noticed their activities were illegal, Ms. Ramirez will yell to stay off the internet and to stay away from the parents who were protesting against judges and social workers. She stated, they are not getting their children back. I explained to her that I have never heard of an allocution. This is when she said list 12 to 20 events, abusive events, that transpired between your daughter and yourself, even if it didn't happen. I told her absolutely not. I would not blatantly lie on myself nor in court. She then said, do you want to be right or do you want to get your child back? Standing up to this system will prevent you from coming home, from your child from coming home. This system has been here before you. Hardy will revoke your discipline plea. I said a plea that I was forced into. She also threatened that I will be placed on a khaki index. I will not be able to go on field trips with my child, nor work around children, which I work with family and children's now. She then said, I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you want to be right or do you want to get your child back? Judge Hardy, County Council, and social workers have coerced children into lying, hid children in court from preventing them from seeing their parents. Judge Hardy condoned social workers to lie under oath. They bully witnesses and have threatened to throw them in jail. Their bailiffs have unlawfully detained parents in court.
Thank you.
Based on hearsay, even when it's been proven that with a parent has good support system, is knowledgeable towards the system.
Thank
they
you.
will object anyone other than an attorney on record to enter the courtroom. Judge Hardy has placed children with the parent who admitted to corporal punishment when they testify under oath.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Excuse me, you guys, I'm sorry. Can I just conclude?
Well,
I
one
don't-
sentence.
Okay, I'll be really quick. I feel Judge Hardy, Judge Fannin, and Judge Haight should be removed from the bench, disbarred,
Thank you.
and subject to criminal proceedings. They have knowingly and wrongfully ruined innocent families' lives, causing irresistible emotional damage to children and family. Irreversible.
Thank you. So, before I move on to the next speaker, which is on a different item, let me just say we always, during public forum, appreciate people come and express their concerns or their frustrations, especially on issues of family and children. Let me just say, to be clear about roles and responsibilities, the court system in California, under our separation of powers in our Constitution, is a separate system branch of government. Judges are appointed by the governor, and they stand for election every 4 years. We do not control the court system. The court system is operated under the state of California. My father was a high school civics teacher. I learned well from him. And the courts are under the state of California. Will you let me finish, please? Just like we listened and respected you, we would ask that you listen at my comment, and we will move on since this is public comment. If individuals have a concern about a judge, there is a process. I think it's through the judicial. You can file a complaint with the judicial council. Well, excuse me. We have no power to discipline. So if you check your history government book, we have no power to discipline judges. And okay. And I will say one final comment. This county runs the child welfare system and a foster care system. You obviously don't want to listen, so let's move on to next item. Let's have respect for the next speaker, please. Dick Offerman, followed by Pat Morgan, and
these were my. Please.
Okay.
We listen to you.
Let's have one person speak. Let's have one person speak at a time. You're not. Frankly.
It is time for you to leave the chambers.
Karen, I'll take your head. So no, this is not a dialogue. You're not modeling very good behavior for children, actually. So let's. All right. So I am going to adjourn this meeting until there is reasonable willingness to listen. I'm just adjourning the meeting for a few minutes to let people cool off.